The points and views shared on this podcast are the sole responsibility for the people that share them. They do not reflect the views of the host or the production team. Thank you. Migration is not a problem, it's a phenomenon. A podcast that gives a voice to migration journeys. Extractos de un Migrante is a podcast hosted by Regina Fernandez.
Hello everyone, welcome one more time to Extractos de un Migrante, the podcast that gives voice to those journeys of migration. And for this episode, I just want to let you know that finally we have our first guest, which excites me the most because I will let you know why this guest is such like a joy to have her in this first episode, third episode of Extractos de un Migrante. This time, we're going to hear about a story of migration that was a lucky story of migration because we have talked about how migration can look very different for many, many people. And sometimes it can be very, like you don't want to migrate and the conditions just makes you do it. And just like leaving your place sometimes can be a decision and sometimes can be a necessity. And in this time, luckily, it was a decision and a very exciting decision. And anyway, I don't want to talk for her. I'm just going to invite her. Her name is Brenda, and she is from Spain. I mean, she's from Mexico, but she's talking to us right now from Spain. Brenda, welcome.
Hello. Oh, hola.
How are you?
Great. Better because the climate is being better here, and that's a plus because I don't do cold, but it's getting better.
I don't do cold either, and here it's so
it's
cold.
one of the tough parts of this migration, but getting used to it.
Yeah. So where are you at in Spain?
Okay, so I'm in Madrid. Madrid, Spain, and as you were saying, yes, I wanted to come here because I came to study my university. I don't know.
Okay.
College or university?
It will be university in your case.
Yeah.
It will be university in your case.
Mhm.
And before we jump in, where are you from?
I'm from Mexico, Mexico City, I love.
Yeah, you love it. Did you live there your whole life?
Yes, I was born and raised in Mexico City, and I left when I was 20, 22, 20, no, 21.
21.
I think 21. Yeah.
Well, for the audience that don't know about this, Brenda is my best friend, and we met when we were in high school, and we kind of grew up together for some very important years. We didn't meet when we were in high school. We met before high school.
We met in junior high school.
Yeah, we met in junior high school. That's how you call it? I thought it was like middle school, elementary, in middle school.
I don't know how they call it.
Honestly,
I think it's junior high. I don't know.
Well,
but yeah.
I mean, could be. And her first language is as well Spanish. But how did you learn English though?
Oh, it was crazy because, I was born in Mexico, but I have family in the US. So, as every people, I went a lot to the US and see my family and everything. So, like, learning English, it was like very important for me. And I like my, how do you say primaria? Like my elementary school?
Elementary school will be
Was bilingual, so
Oh.
I was like half of the day learning Spanish and half of the other day learning English. So that's when I like learn a lot of English. And like the programs like Disney and like movies.
You
the
used to
music.
watch movies and Disney Channel and all that in English?
Yes.
Why?
My mom like made me do that. Like she was like,
Wow.
if you're like trying to learn it, it's the best way.
That's so smart. I didn't know, Chris, that
Yeah.
it's Brenda's mom.
Yeah,
That
actually, like she hated because like she didn't like learn English. So like when I was like 10 years old, like I like preferred to like watch everything in English, and she was like, "Okay, stop it. Like I just want to hear some Spanish." But yeah,
I'm gonna say
fun
something
fact
really.
actually.
Of what?
Yeah, fun fact.
Fun fact,
Like,
fun fact,
yeah.
fun fact that I remember very well too,
Yeah.
because I remember when Brenda and I we were in school, and she used to say a lot of phrases in English, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
"What's wrong with her? Like she doesn't know Spanish, or what's her deal? Like she's
Yeah.
saying so many words in English, and I knew English too, but not that well. So also I was a little bit like, how would you say it? Intimidated,
Annoyed.
and amazed and annoyed by you too. All
Yeah.
that, a lot of emotions at the same time with you.
Yeah, I was like very Spanglish. So like this conversation full in English, it was like it could be like my dream,
It could,
like
yeah,
in the past.
because you also have family in US, so you went to visit your family too, right?
Yeah, like that was like the most part because like in Mexico, of course, like you learn the basis and like you can like speak English, but like I feel that traveling there, like it makes you like go fluent.
Yes, yeah, I agree with you
Yeah.
too. You're right. Okay, Brenda.
But, like your English is doing so much better. Like,
It is. I mean, of course, after three
yeah.
years living here, I needed to improve a little bit more
True,
than
true,
English.
true.
Okay, let's jump into the matter of the situation, that is Brenda
Oh
as a
my God,
migrant.
immigration.
Why Spain?
Um, okay. So I wanted to study fashion design and I wanted actually to study in New York, but I then like started like having courses of like design and sewing and everything and I like wasn't good at it. But I knew I like the part of fashion, but I didn't know like where to put it. So I found this career that is called communication, stylism, and image of fashion, and the places that they were like having this career was in France, Italy, and here in Spain. So I don't know how to speak French and Italian, but I knew how to speak Spanish, so that's why I came to Spain.
Okay, okay. And did you have anyone in Spain? Like, do you say, okay, I'm gonna stay with my aunt, I have some
Oh,
cousins, I have some family friends? Nobody.
no, 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 nobody, nobody. And well, like my mom was having like family issues, so like she couldn't even like bring me here. So like I arrived here, I haven't been here like never. Like
It
when
was
I
your
came here
first
was my
time.
first time, so I didn't knew anything. Actually, like here, like some like famous like parts is Puerta de Alcalá,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't knew it was here. So like when I arrived, like I
Complete
was just
ignorance.
walking and I saw it and I was like, oh my God, it's here. So yeah. But yeah, I didn't
That's
knew
so funny.
anything, anyone, anything. And I got like an issue with my visa. So like I arrived like later to my school.
Okay.
Like the classes were started and I didn't like couldn't like come here
Mm-hmm.
because of the visa.
Mm-hmm.
So I arrived like later and like my whole like where I'm gonna stay and everything was like all changed. So I remember like I have to like reserve an Airbnb and I was like, well, hope it's close from my school and everything was like just like blind. But at the end it was good. Like I like that it was like this because like I could like discover it like more in like my time and everything. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was kind of cute.
So, what were your feelings when you first knew that you were going to start living in another country, and it was going to be a country that you never been in, that you never been there before? And I mean, at least the language was the same. And I also feel like you wouldn't struggling that much if it was in English either, because you already had a good English anyway. But okay, so the language wasn't a problem. We will see if maybe later when you were living
Yeah.
there, then you realize it was a little bit like a challenge. But yeah, what were your feelings of knowing, like, okay, you were in Mexico and you
Mhm.
discovered, like, okay, it's happening. I'm gonna go live in Madrid now. I'm gonna study there. I'm gonna leave Mexico. I'm gonna leave my mom. I'm gonna leave my friends. I'm gonna leave what I know. And now I'm gonna go to a whole different country where I don't know anyone, where I don't even been there before. What was your thoughts? What were you feeling? You were sad, you were happy, were you excited? What's up?
I don't know, like I think like it was a mixture of all of them, and like plus you actually like really helped me because like we were going to like the same stuff, kind of like the part of like leaving the family and like leaving the friends, whatever. But I was excited, and I don't know if you remember, but like it hit like pandemic part, and you were like starting to study in Mexico, and like everyone was starting to study, so like I like kind of feel like left out.
Yes, yes.
So I was like going crazy, and I was like, no, fuck it, like I'm gonna just go. And like I remember I wanted to do like this whole process like in a month.
Mm-hmm.
So like that kind of like helped me to like figure out and like getting to notice like all the process and all like the sentimental parts that I'm gonna like leave. So from there, like I got like a year to like prepare myself and like having like all the visa stuff and like the school, whatever. So I remember like the last month you weren't there. Like you leave earlier, right?
Yes, I was in US when you. I was in
Yeah.
US already when you were still in
Oh my
Mexico
God,
and
I'm gonna
decided
cry.
moving to Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't there with you.
Yeah. So like you like when you left, it was like, okay, if she's okay and like she could do it, I can do it.
I'm
I
glad that
thought.
was your thought. Yeah.
Yeah. But because like we talk and like you were like, okay, it's different, but I can. And like something that was very important for us was like we're like going to like live our dream and like study what we want to study and like work when we want to work, whatever. So I remember the last month like everything like started to hit me on, and like my mom was like, okay, so you're gonna do the supermarket this time because I want to know like if you know what to buy, because that was another thing. Like we have always lived with our parents and everything, and
Yes.
like
Yes. Yes.
it's like what's the first supermarket, like what's the basis of like you need,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know? And
Mhm.
like and like of course I practice and everything, and like the first time that I went to the supermarket here, I was like, what am I gonna like buy? Like water, salt. I remember I bought like
Salt.
water, salt, bread, and eggs. I was
The
like,
basic of the basic.
with that I'm
Yeah.
gonna survive.
So like that was your first you were living in an Airbnb first, I remember, yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then you used to take care of the market, of like the groceries part.
yeah. Well, yeah, but like at the same time, like I was gonna stay there like 2 weeks, so like I didn't like make a big grocery. Like
Okay.
it was just like to survive, literally.
Okay.
And then when I went to like my final like place where I'm gonna like be settled, then I didn't settle there, but whatever. Like I made like a big one, like
Okay. A
a
bigger.
decent supermarket.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So how long it took you for you to adapt, like fully adapt and understand how it was to be living by yourself now? Because one thing is like, okay, I'm living by myself, but not in the same country. So now you were living by yourself too in a different country, and you didn't know anyone. So it was how was your your beginnings of living in Madrid?
At first, like I didn't know like anything, and at least like one of our friends, Manolo, went to Madrid to like he like first introduced me to the city, which like I'm very grateful about it because like I as I'm saying I didn't know anything and like the typical things to do, and like we were talking about the language, which like it's the same. Of course, we speak Spanish and they understand, but it's like even in Mexico, like it's not the same the language in the north than in the south. Like you have like words that are from your place.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came here, like the first times, it was like they didn't understand like some parts that I thought like it was like, of course, like the pen, you don't say the writing pen in the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
the first time like I went to the papeleria,
Papeleria will be like school supply store.
that one,
Mm-hmm.
like they didn't understand me. So like that kind of stuff, like he like taught me like, hey, you don't say this, you say that,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So he was very helpful. And then coincidence of life, in my same school
Mm-hmm.
there was a Mexican girl, and like we became friends. And
Of
actually, she
course.
was my roomie uh,
At that
after
point.
that. At
After
that
that,
point,
she became your roommate. Okay. Okay.
yeah,
So I would say like key of your process and your settlement in Casey in Madrid was friends. Like friends was a very important part for you to start feeling comfortable with the city. And then I
yeah.
want to ask you if at any point of your whole change of life did you feel sad? Did you feel like I'm missing home? I don't want to be living here anymore. Like I'm having depression kind of?
Yes, of course. Like, yeah, friends helps a lot, but like it's not gonna be the same dynamic as maybe you and I have. Like, of course, you're not gonna like be with that friend, like talk about anything because you don't know everything about that person.
Yeah.
So like the process of like getting to know that person and all of that like takes time, and in those moments like you don't have the time, like you just want to like feel family, be feeling like friends. So of course, and like i I'm about to like have 3 years living here, and sometimes of course I get depressed. I get depressed of my family, friends, but food, like food is, it's a killer.
Really?
Yeah,
How, like, I mean, I know Mexican food, it's everything and I miss it too so
delicious.
much, but I don't understand how different it can be from Spain. Like, I believe, like, you guys also have a lot of tasteful food. I can understand from US because US is not the place where people, I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I thought Spain had good food.
They have good food, but we have better food. And like it's like it's not the same food like if you go to a restaurant that your mom's cooking for you,
Oh, okay.
you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Like that taste, like that little hug that your mommy gives you. It's not gonna
yeah.
be
As
the same.
simple
Of
as
course
that.
you have like varieties of everything, but it's not the same. That's when like it gets homesick.
Yeah, no, I get you.
But it really helps, like for me it helped of course finding friends, and unfortunately I found very beautiful people here, and that really helped me. And like I don't know, like maybe like going out in the city and like found a spot like you feel comfortable in it, like maybe stay there, like going out, going to parties. And like at the same time, we're independent. Like we can do like everything. Like we're not with our families. So like that's like the fun part. Like
Right.
of course there's sad parts, but
Yeah.
being away and like having all the freedom you can have,
That's something you
that's the
embrace a
fun
lot
part.
from
Yeah.
migration. So, just to close this episode, I know it was really fast. It went by so, so fast, almost 20 minutes now of us
Yes.
talking. Probably we will invite you for a second part. But
Oh,
I would just like you to
please.
leave a quick, like a quick message or like a quick comment about how you recommend people to get out of their comfort zone and just go look at other places and discover the world.
Well, of course, I'm gonna like start saying like, of course, not everything's happy, and like you're not always gonna be like happy and like discovering new places, whatever. It's gonna get hard sometimes, but I know that I have learned so much more here than I will like learn in my house and like in my hometown. Like the amount of like challenge and things that I have lived here, it's been crazy. Like I'm not the same person that I was back there than I am now. And I really appreciate that. And of course, it's hard, but sometimes it's really happy and really liberating to be living this experience. And I don't know, like I've always think we only have one life, and I wouldn't like it to be like stuck in the same place always and always. And of course like I'm privileged to live here and like having this experience, but I don't know, like just going around like another way in your life could change everything. That's like maybe what
Uh huh.
I
I
could
love what you're
conclude
saying.
about this experience. Oh
Yes.
my god, so deep.
Oh, yeah. But I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for being
Yeah.
today with us. I appreciate your honesty and your full expression of the experience. and I would love to have it for another episode. Maybe we can
Oh
discuss
my
another
God,
points, maybe
please,
some
please.
dynamics. This
Yeah,
was so much fun. Well, thank you so much, Brenda.
thank you.
And thank you everyone for listening to this podcast. I one more time want to invite you to be open to our guest stories. I know they are all can be a little bit different and a little bit out of your sight, if you want to say it like that. But just remember to be open. Thank you so much for staying in this episode. I see you next time. Bye.
Thank you everyone for joining us for this episode. If you enjoyed the interview, don't forget to share it.